Well, today we'll be presenting a type of advertisement related to alcohol consuming, more specifically beer, which is the type of alcohol really consumed in Brazil, especially. And in this type of advertisement, you can see, first of all, the way that the woman image has been used to advertise the beer, which in Brazil they use they expose the woman's sexuality in a way to attract the male consumer, which becomes more sexy, more attractive for himself. And this happens because once they're trying to reach for the male attention, what happens is it's a type of advertisement by association, and that happens when the man sees the beautiful lady on the picture with a sexual clothes exposing her body and her sexuality, and they relate that to the beer brand. So then every time they see the beer, they will remember that woman. Or in another way of seeing it is by drinking that beer, you can get a woman like her, which brings the male to be more attractive to that specific brand. By looking and analyzing the advertisement, we can see that the ad brings some colors from the national flag of Brazil, because this is an advertisement of a popular beer brand in Brazil. And with that, it brings the green and the yellow, which are two of the main colors of our flag. And the green has been used in some crucial points and elements on the advertisement, like the beer and the woman's clothes and the confetti, which is also used which has also used the yellow color. Confetti is one of the most popular things on a national holiday in Brazil, which is called Carnival, which is a 5-day holiday straight of partying. And that because it's something different, and we celebrate it in like different ways in each state. In São Paulo and Rio, they have this thing called escola de samba, which the woman dress up with just a bit of clothes and expose her sexuality by dancing. And this type of clothes is the type of clothes that it's being used on the advertisement by the woman to expose her sexuality, brings it to be an advertised towards the carnival as well, because it seems that this advertisement has been used at the time of the carnival to bring up the Sintra brand. We can also see in the advertisement as well the green being used on the sign, which the sign is written "Isso que é cerveja," which means this is a real beer, and it's written in big letters, which brings up your attention right after seeing the woman's body, which is the main thing on the advertisement to bring up the male attention. You can see the beer, and right after that you will see the sign saying this is a real beer, which you're kind of like pointing towards the woman, which just emphasizes the whole situation of assimilation. But an interesting thing is that nowadays Brazil has stopped using as much of the woman image and deprivating it, because every day now more and more women started drinking beer, and with that they do not approve this type of approach, which is more related to the male side of society. And with that, only the popular beers, the national popular beers being more specific, as which Sintra and other many beers will bring up on this case, this type of advertisement. And other beers brands like Heineken and Stella Artois, which are not national, and or the type of beer that I would say is more expensive, reaching out for another public, it's not using this type of advertisement. It's approaching in a different way, and it's just using other manners to bring up the ad in the situation and to bring up the consumers' attention. Thank you. In the second advertisement we'll be analyzing, it shows a different approach for the same theme, which is the carnival theme, and it's from a different brand called Brahma. An interesting fact is that it's the exact opposite of the other approach, because it makes the advertisement be effective without exploring and or abusing of the woman's sexuality in it, uh, meaning that it doesn't have to be a woman over in the advertisement in order to be effective, which breaks that thing that it has been being built over time. And the brand uses a different approach to in order to make the beer become effective. And this approach is that when they capture the frame of the ad, what they did is they captured in a certain angle which emphasized the beer, meaning that when you look at the ad you can see that it gives you a feeling that the background goes like inwards, and the beer, it really like stands out as if it's inclined to the front, and you can really see, the Brahma brand and the beer itself, as in like you can also see in the way that it's cold beer and that it's like water coming down kind of thing, which kind of like emphasizes it and gives you like that wet mouth in order to like drink it, especially in the carnival season, which is the summer season, the end of the summer season as well, which is really hot in Brazil. And that's a really different approach and interesting, because it really becomes something effective without exposing someone or the female sexuality itself. And in order to make this interesting, and in order to really make this ad stands out, the brand Brahma used something really interesting as well, which is their color, the colors they used, because they used their brand colors, which is red and gold, and with those colors they put it on the background as straps, so you have one it's gold and one is red, and you go from that. And those colors really brings out the whole festivity thing, which is what the carnival is. It's about just happiness and festivities and people dancing, and it really brings that out, brings that spirit out, that happiness and that festivity, and energize its spirit out. And the texture of the background, it's something really interesting, because when you look to the texture of the background you can see that it kind of like gives you the impression as if you have the same tissue they use on the fantasies for the carnival costumes that people uses. And you can see that by looking at the first ad, the lady with the clothes that she was using has kind of the same texture as the background in this advertisement, which also brings back the feeling of carnival. And that's actually what brings for the feeling of carnival. It's that texture on the background. It reminds you of the carnival, and that's when you realize that it's related to the carnival theme. The ad, it's relating to it. When you look to the ad, you see, as soon as you look to the ad, you will see the beer, obviously, because it's the most standing out thing on the whole advertisement. But another thing you will see is the word saying over here on the back on white, and they use the color white because white is something that on this exact background of white with the gold and the red is something that stands out. So it's one of the things that you first see, and then you go for analyzing the ad. And it says in Portuguese, vista sua fantasia e curta o carnaval. Quer dizer, se você mora numa colônia nudista, a gente não sabe como é que faz. Meaning that put up your costume and enjoy your carnival. But if you live in a place where you don't wear clothes, well, we don't know what to do. And on this catching phrase, it made me think for a while. And it's just basically meaning put up a costume and have fun. The carnival is not about much. It's just about being yourself, put up a costume and have fun, and you don't have to, expose us everything. You just need to have fun, and it's not about much things. But it also breaks down the stereotype that Brazil has for its carnival, which is women almost naked around, because that's the image that we've been passing, and this exactly catching phrase, put up a costume and have fun, it really breaks down that stereotype. It manages to not just to this added image, it just not just to stop that that use of the woman sexuality and that abuse of it, but it also brings up the thing that it's breaking down its stereotype in a more knitted way, showing just that phrase, which is a really catchy phrase. And in a conclusion for both of the advertisements is that one of the most important factors is the public that they're trying to approach, because as you see, it's two different brands, but they're branding the same product, which is beer. The thing is the public that they're trying to approach. So Brahma is a more expensive beer than the other one, and with that, it kind of really shows us that the uses of the way to approach for the customer. So in the other one, you will see more of a abusing of sexuality approach, and on the Brahma one, you will see a different kind of approach, and that's because of the social class they're trying to reach. Thank you.